Listen up, the world's changing fast, and if you're still sitting on dollars you're losing. Inflation's not a theory, it's a thief. Every day, every hour it's eating your cash, gnawing at the value you think you've got locked away in that bank account. You worked hard for that money, traded your time, your life for it, and now it's slipping through your fingers like sand. Paper money's weak. It's nothing but a promise from a system that's shaking, a system that's printing more and more until the whole thing collapses under its own weight. You can't trust it. You shouldn't trust it. The dollar's dying, and if you don't see that, you're blind to the game being played right in front of you. This isn't a conspiracy, it's economics. It's reality. It's math that doesn't care about your feelings. What's the cure? Commodities, real stuff, tangible assets that don't vanish when the printing presses go wild. Gold, silver, oil. These aren't just things, they're wealth. They're the backbone of value that's lasted centuries, not decades. Think about it. Paper currencies come and go, governments rise and fall, but gold's been king for thousands of years. Pharaohs buried with it, conquistadors sailed for it. Silver's been a store of value since ancient times. Coins in Rome, trade in China. Oil's been driving the world since the industrial age kicked off, lighting lamps, powering engines, shaping nations. When paper fails, when the markets tremble, when inflation turns your savings into dust, commodities stand firm. They're the hedge against the crash that's coming, whether you want to admit it or not, and it is coming. Don't kid yourself. The signs are everywhere if you're willing to look. Let's break it down slow and clear, because this matters maybe more than anything else you'll hear today. Inflation's a silent killer. It's not just prices going up, it's your purchasing power going down. That coffee you buy today costs more tomorrow, and the cash in your wallet buys less every year. A gallon of gas jumps a quarter, a loaf of bread creeps up a dime, a month's rent stings deeper, and your dollar shrinks with every tick of the clock. The government won't tell you that straight. They'll dress it up in fancy terms, throw out percentages like 2% inflation target or core CPI, and hope you don't notice the slow bleed. They'll say it's under control, manageable, good for growth. That's a lie to keep you calm, but you're smarter than that. You have to be. Open your eyes. The system's rigged to keep you chasing more paper, working harder just to stay in the same spot. That's not freedom, that's a trap. A hamster wheel designed to keep you broke while the insiders, the bankers, the politicians, the elite, cash out and leave you holding the bag. Commodities cut through the noise. They're not hype, they're not promises on a screen. They're real. Gold's been money for thousands of years. Kings hoarded it, empires fought over it, entire wars were funded by it. Why? Because it's real. You can hold it in your hand, weigh it, feel its density. You can't print more of it on a whim. No central banker can snap their fingers and flood the world with gold. It takes minds, sweat, time. It's scarce, it's solid, it's eternal. Silver's the same, industrial demand, monetary history, a double punch of value. It's in your phone, your car, your solar panels, your laptop, and it's been money longer than any dollar's been around. Greek drachmas, Spanish reals, all silver. Oil, it's the blood of the modern world. Cars, planes, factories, shipping, agriculture, they all run on it. These aren't guesses or gambles, they're facts. When the dollar weakens, when trust in the system fades, people run to what's real. They always have, they always will. History doesn't lie, only politicians and pundits do. Now you might say, I don't get it. Stocks are hot, real estate's booming, why mess with commodities? Fair question. Let's unpack it, because this is where most people trip up. Stocks can crash, overnight, gone. One bad earnings report, one scandal, one tweet, and that company you bet on is toast. The whole market can tank on a rumor. Me.com bust, Black Monday, pick your poison. Real estate's solid until the bubble pops, and it always pops eventually. Look at 2008, houses underwater, families ruined, dreams crushed because everyone thought prices only go up. Commodities aren't perfect, but they're a shield. They're not tied to some CEO's bad decisions, a tech fad, or a housing market hype cycle. They're tied to supply and demand, to the earth itself, geology, physics, reality. Gold doesn't care about a tech bubble bursting. Silver doesn't crash because a startup flops. Oil keeps flowing even when Wall Street panics and traders jump out windows. When everything else shakes, they hold steady. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's why they matter. Stack them. Start small if you have to, but start. Buy a few ounces of silver coins, bars, whatever you can grab from a dealer or online. Get a gold coin. Feel the weight of it. know it's yours, not some bank's IOU. Look into oil trusts or commodity ETFs. If you're not ready to store barrels in your garage, there are funds that track crude, easy to buy, no mess. You don't need a fortune to begin, you need a decision. A single silver coin might cost you $20, less than a night out. A gold ounce might be a bigger stretch, but you can save for it, chip away at it. The point isn't to go all in tomorrow, it's to build a wall between you and the chaos, brick by brick. Every dollar you trade for a commodity is a dollar you've pulled out of the inflation fire. It's a step toward protecting your wealth when the system shakes, and trust me, it's going to shake. You don't need to time it perfectly, just move. Action beats hesitation every time. Waiting for the right moment is just fear dressed up as wisdom. The rich get this. They don't sit on cash. They don't trust the banks to save them. Banks are just middlemen skimming your money. The wealthy own assets, hard assets, land, metals, energy, businesses that produce. The poor and the middle class, they cling to paper, praying it'll hold value, stuffing it under mattresses, or in savings accounts, earning 0.5% while inflation chews 3% or more. That's the mindset gap. That's why the rich get richer while everyone else scrambles, why the top 1% own more than the bottom 50% combined. The wealthy don't hope for a better economy, they prepare for a worse one. They don't bet on promises, they bet on reality. You want to win? Stop thinking like a worker punching clocks for paychecks that buy less every month. Stop thinking like a saver hoarding cash that's losing value faster than you can earn it. Start thinking like an investor who sees the game for what it is, a rigged board where the house always wins unless you change the rules. Rewrite the playbook, take control. Let's talk gold for a minute because it's the anchor, the foundation. It's not sexy, it doesn't pay dividends, it doesn't flash on a screen like some hot stock with a ticker scrolling green, but it's a rock in a storm. When currencies fail, and they do fail, gold's there. Look at history, study it because it's your teacher. The Roman denarius got debased until it was worthless, silver shaved down, copper mixed in, until it bought nothing but scorn. The Weimar Republic printed marks until you needed a wheelbarrow to buy bread. Hyperinflation so bad people burned cash for heat because it was cheaper than fire. France's ascendance in the 1790s, Zimbabwe's dollars in the 2000s. Same story, different dates. The dollar's not immune, it's losing ground every year, and the more they print, the faster it falls. Trillions flood the system, debt, bailouts, handouts, stimulus checks, and your dollar pays the price, diluted like cheap wine. Gold doesn't care, it just sits there, holding value, waiting for the inevitable. You don't buy gold to get rich quick, you buy it to not go broke slow. It's insurance with a pedigree, 5,000 years of proof. Silver's the sleeper, the underdog with teeth. It's cheaper than gold, more volatile, but it's got legs, long strong legs. Industry eats it up, solar panels, soaking up sun, electronics wiring the world, batteries powering the future, medical tech saving lives, demand's climbing, and supplies tight. Mines can't keep up forever, they're not infinite. Plus it's got that monetary history, a backup to gold for centuries. Think pirate treasure, think colonial trade, think every silver dollar that built America's early wealth. When paper money stumbles, silver shines. It's a hedge with a kick, a way to play both defense and offense. You're not just protecting wealth, you're positioning for the shift. The moment when people wake up and run to metals. If gold's the king, silver's the knight, moving fast, striking hard, cutting through the chaos. A few bucks get you in the game, a handful of coins, a small stack, and that's power in your pocket. Oil's the wild card, the gritty one, the street fighter. It's messy, it's political, but it's power, raw, unfiltered power. The world runs on it, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Electric cars are coming. Sure, Tesla's flashy, but oil's still king for decades. Trucks hauling goods, planes crossing oceans, plastics in everything you touch, fertilizers feeding the planet. Wars get fought over it. Gulf War, sanctions, pipelines bombed. Economies rise and fall on it. Saudi wealth, Venezuela's collapse, Texas booms. Look at the Middle East, Russia, OPEC. Oil's a chess piece in the global game, a kingmaker and a deal breaker. You don't need to drill a well, just own a piece of the flow. Commodities like oil tie you to the real engine of the world, not the fake promises of Wall Street suits, betting on the next unicorn or the next bubble. Oil's not pretty, it's not clean, but it's real, and real wins when the illusions fade, when the lights go out, and the truth shows up. Here's the kicker. You don't need to be a millionaire to start. You don't need a PhD in finance, a fancy suit, or a broker on speed dial, whispering hot tips. You just need to wake up. Stop believing the lie that cash is king. It's not. It's a servant, and a bad one at that. Lazy, unreliable, shrinking every day while you sleep. Trade it for something real, something you can touch, something that lasts. Stack those commodities. Build that hedge. The crash isn't an effort, it's a the system's been shaking for years. Debt piling up like a mountain, money printing non-stop, trust eroding faster than a sandcastle at high tide. You can feel it in your gut. You can see it in the headlines, prices climbing, wages stalling, politicians dodging questions, with more promises they can't keep. Don't wait for the news to tell you it's too late. By then, the game's over, the board's flipped, and you're out of moves. Protect your wealth. That's the core of it, the beating heart. The dollar's dying, because it's built on faith, and faith's running thin. Thinner than a worn-out dollar bill. People used to believe in the system, stable jobs, strong currency, a fair shot at the dream. That's gone, buried under debt and devaluation. A house of cards waiting for a breeze, or a gust. Commodities don't need faith, they just are. Gold sits in a vault, quiet and heavy, a silent giant. Silver stacks in a safe, ready to move, a quick draw. Oil flows through pipelines, fueling the world, relentless. They're not promises, they're facts. Hard, cold, undeniable facts. When the system shakes, and it will, those who hold real value will stand tall, unshaken. Those who don't, will scramble in the wreckage, wondering what hit them, begging for scraps. So what's your move? Sit there clutching paper, hoping inflation slows down, praying the system holds together with duct tape and lies. That's a loser's bet, a sucker's play. Or take control, step by step, and build a fortress around your future. Start with a coin, silver, gold, doesn't matter, just start. Start with a share, an oil fund, a metal trust, something tied to reality. Start with a choice to stop being a pawn, and start being a player. The choice is yours, but the clock's ticking, tick tick tick. Inflation's not waiting, it's already here, chewing through your cash, like a termite through wood. The crash isn't waiting, it's building, brick by brick, in every overprinted dollar, every trillion-dollar deficit. Get in the game, stack those commodities, hedge that crash, protect your wealth. That's the cure. That's the way out. That's how you win. When the rest of the world loses, how you turn chaos into opportunity, fear into power.